fellow programming engineers, welcome back once more to this drives course. So today we're going to start by explaining our very famous parameters. And therefore, some pretty exciting stuff is coming on. Because our methodology that we're going to be using with all of you is the following. I want you guys to get directly familiarized with your simulator. And then I am going to explain what it's all about so that ultimately we will be able to use a second simulator or an emulator. And so that once that you learned this, you can configure all parameters. And ultimately, I'm also going to provide you with a different or another explanation so that we could then move on to the real exercise, which is any type of drive configuration, which in this case, I'm using more than 5 brands, okay, with our simulators and our physical part. So our physical part are 4 brands, 4 different brands. And why is what's the end game of this? Because for the course for X or Y topic, whenever they give us a course directly with Allen Bradley brand, it is only Allen Bradley. So if they give us a Siemens drives course, it's only for Siemens. So in this case, I feel, and I also think that it's more important directly on this course that you guys become experts in configuring any type of brand, because that's actually the guarantee for the course, that you guys are going to be able to configure any brand. Doesn't matter which brand they place in front of you. You guys have to be sure that you can start, stop, and configure your drive. Okay? Now, for this, we are going to start analyzing our display. Okay? Or, rather, our operator interface. What is this? This is basically our drive. This is our complete drive, but we have a small display. So you're going to be able to see in some of our drives a potency meter, a startup and stop button. We also have some arrows and escape to remove from the menu screen. And this screen, generally, this is called a display. Okay? So all of the drives should have this. In case our current drive doesn't have this, then this means that we have to ask our supplier for it, because they sell these independently. Okay, which basically, I haven't really found this another problem like this. I think I had a drive about 4 years ago, and I had to ask for this interface independently. But why is this not done more commonly? Because there's more competition between our drives brands. Okay? So basically everything else is included. So generally we're going to look at it this way. Okay, we have our arrows up, down, and left, sometimes right. But in this case, it's only a left arrow. And here we have our jog button or our reverse button. And here to run our drive, and here to stop our drive. So I'm going to explain this a little bit more in detail. However, firstly, I would like us to open our simulator for our C300 variated for Danfoss. So in this video, we should have included our emulator or our simulator. First, we're going to start with our Danfoss. So what are we going to do? We are going to open our file, our FC underscore LCPSIM underscore 0 underscore 01, which is an executable drive. So we're going to open this. Here we go. And there we go. Did I close this? There we go. All right. Now, this is actually the interface that I'm telling you about. Each brand, okay, is distributed differently for our keyboard so that we can configure this however we wish. So that we can experiment with many different brands, this is exactly why we do this. So the course might be so that I focus only with one drive, okay? So if I were to focus with one drive, which is the keyboard is very easy. At the moment when you guys in real life, if you had to configure a Danfoss, because this looks like a this actually looks like a looks like an airplane switchboard, but it's basically, in its course, they get the logic, and while we look into the fact that they are all the same, the only thing that is going to change is the keyboard distribution and the menu, how it works and how each activity works for the parameters. But basically, if we know well how each drive is, the really important part of what we need to enter, then we can control anything we wish. Okay, so we're going to pause here our video because I'd like you guys to press all the keys. Okay, I want you guys to go everywhere. Okay, don't be afraid, guys. So you guys have to go to the information part, click on the directions part, hit enter, start your motor. Okay, you have to do this individually. Maybe you can say, well, I really don't know how to do this. Doesn't really matter. All I want for you guys is that I want you to have the opportunity to push whatever you wish. Experiment on this side. I'd rather that we experiment on our emulated part than if we experiment once we have our drive directly with us. Okay, in physical, like physically. So this way, we're going to start getting adjusted. And so that's why I want you guys to go to each one of the menus. Okay. So having said this, I'm going to pause the video. You guys, please analyze your simulator. And then afterwards, we're going to come back so I can show you everything that has to do with our parameters. Okay. So I'll see you on our next video, guys.